Greetings, West Valley 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, and welcome to your online registration. First things first, this is our very first time doing this online like this, so please be patient with us. We are doing the best that we can, and we know we're going to run into problems, and it's not going to work, and we're going to have to troubleshoot, and we just really appreciate your patience as we work through that. So this is going to be kind of your little intro to core courses first. And so hopefully in SSP you looked at this page, but I was just going to draw your attention again to, you should have this page in front of you, a paper copy of this. But if you go to the West Valley homepage, and you can get there by going to k12northstar.org/West Valley. If you type that in, all one word, all lowercase, that will bring you to this homepage. And then if you click on counseling, that will take you to the counseling homepage. And then if you go down here to registration information, that will take you to this page. And hopefully, again, last week in SSP, you looked at this page. But if not, I wanted to draw your attention to it because it's got a lot of information and also digital copies of the pages that you have in front of you right now. So if you click right here, it says pop out. That will take you to a PDF version of the course selection sheet that you have. First things first, make sure that you legibly, so we can read it, write your first and last name and your actual first and last name. So if you abbreviate or shorten it, if you could please write your whole first and last name, that would be very helpful. Your current grade level, and then also your SSP teacher, so that if we need to pull you out of class, we do try to pull you out of SSPs. Remember, this is just step one. Everything that you put in today, you will go over again with your counselor just to make sure we get it right. But we just wanted to have this time to go over kind of in smaller groups with you. So this is your course selection sheet, and you're going to do everything in here on paper first. So if you're going into 10th grade for English, you either have a choice between English 10 or English 10 honors. 11th graders, you have to take American Writers, but then you also get to choose an English elective. 11th grade going into 12th grade, you do have to take World Lit or Brit Lit, and then also a elective as well. Global Studies, it gets if you're in 10th grade going into 11th grade, you're going to take U.S. History. There is an option for semester 2. There's a tentative pilot course called U.S. Civil Rights Experience that you could take in substitution for semester 2 if that gets approved. But basically, you're going to choose AP or regular. If you're an 11th grader going into 12th grade, you are going to take one of the government options and then an economics option. For those of 9th graders going into 10th grade, there's a lot of different options for world history that you can take for either semester 1 or semester 2. But you do have to take one semester of regular world history. And what I want to show you right now is that it says up here, course titles that are blue are hyperlinked to additional videos, files, or descriptions. So if you're in 11th grade and you don't know which English class you should take, if you click on Brit Lit or World Lit, it'll take you to more information about those courses so you can choose. The other piece to pay attention to is that if you go to PowerSchool and everybody get logged into PowerSchool, and hopefully we already had you do this, but when you get logged into PowerSchool, there's a couple different places we want to draw your attention to in here. One that we'll be referencing is this tab down here called Graduation Progress. If you click on that one, this tab shows all of the courses that you've completed, the credits that you have earned in all of those areas. This needed one is the credits that you need in that area to graduate still. Shows your current course registration, and then the projected credits that you'll have. So if you're going through here, this shows based on your specific grade levels, graduation requirements, the different courses that you need to take, the credits you've earned in all the core classes that you still need to take, and then also elective courses that you've created and the grades and credits that you've earned in there. So we're going to reference this as we're going through. It'll help you know where you have completed prerequisites, where you still have things that you need to complete looking towards graduation. The other page, of course, that we're going to look at, though, is right above that, and that one is called class registration, the little chair with a pencil in front of it. And if you click on class registration, that takes you to this page, which is your class registration for next school year. And I know I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We do really strive to have a student-driven schedule. That means that these courses that you select right now, those choices that you make are how we build the master schedule. These courses that you select, that's how we determine how many sections we need of core courses and elective courses. And that's why, if maybe you were just trying to change classes this semester, there may not have been space because it was based on these requests that you made right now. But the other thing, let me go back here. If you go, the first one's English, there's this little pencil over here. And when you hover on it, it says click to edit English. If you click on that, it shows the options that you have. My pretend student is a 9th grader going into 10th grade, and so their teacher has recommended them for English 10, and you can see that right over here. So if as you're making your decisions, you're not 100% sure what courses you should take, if you go in here, it'll show you what you were recommended for. So that's something important for you to look at. Again, I was just going to go through, so you're going to first look at options for English, look at options for global studies, look at options for math. That's really going to be dependent upon prerequisites, where you're at for math. And then options for science. Again, if you're a 9th grader and you're taking biology, you could go into earth and space, physical science, chemistry. If you're a 10th grader taking biology, you could go into physical science or chemistry. If you're an 11th grader, there's different options as well for you, but you only have to take 3 full years. So there's lots of different options. We will talk about specifics to your grade level when we're in there. But the important thing is you want to write everything down on here of what you're planning to take. And then we're going to pause this here because then we will go into how to make your recommendations online. So when you're ready and you have everything all set on paper and you're ready to go in and register for your courses, you're going to go back to this page. Again, we're in PowerSchool. We're on the class registration tab. So over here, every area has a little pencil for you to edit it. So if I click to edit English, it takes me to this page again where I said I'm going to choose my English. So I'm going to register for just English 10, semester 1, semester 2. That's what was recommended for me, and I think that's the best option for me. I click OK. And then for global studies for me, I'm a 9th grader going into 10th grade. I probably won't have recommendations in here. I put recommendations in because I was doing all of it. But for me, I'm really interested in geography. So instead of World History Semester 1, I'm going to take World Geography. And then I'm going to take World History Semester 2. So I'm going to register for those 2 courses right here. And again, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same thing again for math. I'm completing Algebra 1.1 right now. So that means next year I'm going to be taking Algebra 1.2 and Algebra 1.3. That's what my current teacher recommended me for. So again, I just click these 2 boxes. I do think this is the first time, and this is important to note, this is the first time where there's more than 1 page of choices. So down here, if I was in, Algebra 1 this year, and I was recommended for maybe STEM geometry next year, that's going to be on page 2. So that's just good to note, is that there are more than 1 pages, and it's alphabetical by course name, so they don't necessarily go in order. Okay. Again, I'm going to click OK. For science, I've been recommended for Earth and Space, and that's what I'm going to take. So I'm going to click here. So then again, I'm going to click OK. So for my core courses, I now have my 2 courses for English, my 2 courses for global studies. I have my 2 courses for math, and my 2 courses for science. So we're going to be coming around and checking to make sure that you've completed those things. And then we're going to talk about electives. So we're going to pause the video again so that everybody can take some time to make sure that they get their core courses entered correctly. We'll get those checked off. And then next we're going to talk about electives. All right, so for electives, if you're on the back page of this sheet, the first thing it says is that you're going to number your top 6 choices for electives. So you're going to number them in order, with number 1 being your first choice, 2 your second choice. One thing to note is that if I have just registered for all my core courses, that's a total of 8 credits I can have, or 8 classes. That's only 4 credits, but 8 classes. That only means I have space for 2 electives each semester. So if this was my registration, I'm going to number 6 classes, but my top 4 are the ones that I'm really going to register for, and the 5 and 6 are going to be alternates. So I just wanted to point that out. So again, remember that any item that is blue has more information on it. So for art, if you click on any of these, they're going to give you more information about those classes. You're going to want to note if there's prerequisites for those classes, and that information, kind of makes sense in the sense of like beginning, intermediate, and advanced. So you want to make sure you've taken them in the right sequence. Music, again, Mr. Cluton has videos, that talk about the different music courses that you are. Of course, beginning guitar, steel drum ensemble. There's no, prior experience needed for either of those if you're interested in trying out a music class. One thing to note, jazz band is a before school class. So if you're registering for jazz band, that actually happens outside of the regular school day. So you don't need to, you'll actually have, 7 electives on here. And then there's also a place to write your instrument on here if you are, if you play an instrument, so we know that. World languages, same thing, just has the sequences on here in terms of, Chinese 1 through 4, Spanish 1 through 4, French 1 through 3. PE, if you're interested in taking PE, there's kind of 4 upper level PE classes that you can take. And then, of course, CTE, Career Technical Education, that's where the bulk of our electives are. So there's the different culinary courses that you can take in sequence. Health Science has, introductory courses, healthcare occupations, first aid, and CPR, and then also the emergency trauma technician. Those are available 9 through 12 with no prerequisites. And then, the other classes that we've offered this year, one new one that we're hoping to get enough requests for next year is this Intro to Fire Sciences. And again, it's blue. So if you click on it, it'll take you, zoom out. It'll take you to some more information. So it'll talk, about kind of what the class will cover in there. Same thing for STEM. There's some entry-level courses that you can take: Autodesk Inventor, Engineering Design, Creative Coding, Computer Applications. No real prerequisites for those, so you can access those. Same thing, digital photo, video production. A couple courses in the sequence. Graphic design and publishing, but don't need any prior courses. Another new course up here, Intro to Aviation with Private Pilot Ground School. That's a new course that we have put in for this next year. A year-long course that will both focus on the field of aviation, what job possibilities are out there, especially in Fairbanks and just Alaska in general. Aviation is really a big industry that has had a lot of demand. So it'll talk about that piece, but then it'll also take you through the sequence of book work so that you would be prepared to take the first level exam to be a private pilot. The ground school portion of that with some simulators and different pieces. So talk to Mr. Stagg if you're interested in that. There's information here again. If you click on it, it'll take you to that little information page again. A year-long course. It does have a prerequisite of algebra and geometry, so that's good to note. Also JROTC, drill and ceremony. Again, that's a 7th period after school course, so you can make note of that. innovation and inquiry, mediation and work-based learning, some other really accessible courses for electives that don't require any prerequisites. More information there on those classes. And then this is the senior only section. So if you are interested in learning more about maybe a high school internship, or if you want to sign up to be a student aide or tutorial assistant with a teacher. And again, seniors can have one off-campus excuse period each semester and one TA, so that information is there. Also, if you are in study skills, life skills, or academic success skills, if you know about those classes, you can sign up for those here. So again, you're going to number 1 through 6 on this page of your top 6 electives. Okay, so now you should have written all of your electives down on your piece of paper, and now you're ready to put them into the computer. So I said if you're interested in taking additional core courses as electives, you can sign up for those here. So if you wanted to sign up for accounting, or maybe you wanted to take computer programming, shows up in here. It probably also shows up in CTE. Maybe you wanted to take global diplomacy, Model UN, in addition to your world history classes. You can do that through that first tab, electives, additional core classes, and make that zoom in and make that a little better. The next area is electives, art, music, and world language. So I took Spanish 1 this year. So now remember I said there's lots of pages, so we're going to have to just kind of guess which page we're going to find it on. Oh, there it is. There, I see that. So on page 6, Spanish 2, I'm going to sign up for Spanish 2. That's 2 of my electives. If you want to take any physical education or health classes, those are right there on that one. So I'm going to take outdoor ed, and that's going to be one of my electives. And then I'm going to sign up for a CTE elective. So I'm going to go into here, and I am going to take Intro to Healthcare Occupations. So I'm going to sign up for that right there. So now I have signed up for my 4 electives. So if I go back here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 classes, which I have to sign up for 6 credit hours. I have 6 credit hours, so I have that good to go. But maybe I want to take just a few other things to note. So JROTC is here as an elective option. So wherever you are in that sequence, year 1, 2, 3, or 4, that's here in elective options. Before and after school options. So if you were signing up for drill and ceremony, e-learning during 7th period, or jazz band during 0 period, that is down here. If you have study skills or success skills or life skills in your schedule right now and you want to continue with that next year, this is where you would sign up for semester 1. And then again, semester 2 down here if you wanted to sign up for that. The other thing, though, that I want to talk about is alternate electives. So I signed up for those classes, but I'm also going to sign up for some alternate classes if I don't get in. So whatever I numbered as number 5 and number 6 on there, I'm going to want to sign up for those classes. And this is a lot of pages, so again, you're just going to have to kind of guess where it's going to be in here in terms of that. So my first elective, additional elective choice is going to be first aid CPR. And then my second one is going to be innovation and inquiry. So those are my alternate electives, my numbers 5 and 6 on there. Okay, so something else I want to talk about. If you go back to this counseling page, and you should have this paper in front of you, maybe it is that you want to take some courses at Hutch. We're still going to have you sign up for 6 electives at West Valley because we can't guarantee that you're going to get into the classes at Hutch. We do our best to fit it into schedules, and we do some work even at the end of this year so that we can try to get you into classes. But we still want you to sign up for 6 classes at West Valley so we can build our schedule in such a way that if you don't get in, you have a course at West Valley to fall back on. So if you are interested in taking some courses at Hutch, make sure you put your first and last name again on this piece of paper and then fill out your choices on here of what you're interested in. The other one that's on here is e-learning. So if you are interested in taking an e-learning class, make sure you fill out that information on here and get that back to the counselor too. So I wanted to draw your attention to that. Okay, so I think I'm done. I have all of my courses in here. I have my alternate electives in here. Down at the bottom, it tells me that I am requesting 6 credit hours. I have 6 credit hours. I think I'm ready to hit submit. Remember, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know, if you're afraid to hit submit, raise your hand. We'll come around and help you out. But I think I'm done. So I'm going to hit submit, and it's going to submit my course requests. And I can see here my final thing. I'm going to double check it on my paper copy. I have English 10, Algebra 1.2, 1.3, Earth and Space, World History 2 and Geography, Intro to Healthcare Occupations, Spanish 2, Outdoor Ed, and then I also have my 2 alternates down here that shows my First Aid CPR and my Innovation and Inquiry class. And so I just want to double check that information, get it double checked off by a counselor or Ms. Fillingham or myself, whoever is in your class working with you, to make sure that we got it right, and you're all done. And I just, again, want to say thank you so much for your patience. I'm sure we had problems while this was happening. It didn't go as smoothly as we hoped. I just appreciate your patience so much. And thank you guys so much for doing this with us.